Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness. I wanted to just go into a little card flow with the guides and kind of see what they have to share while I'm driving. So it's meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear basis. How are we feeling? Inviting you just to kind of drop into your bodies, check in with your breath. Am I breathing? Or am I holding my breath? How am I feeling? All right, so let's just flow. And thanks for tuning in. So as we come into these new phases of development, and we are always moving through phases, if you will, we are coming into an extended frequency time bending, mind bending period. Okay, I'm being shown a picture, and I joke about this from time to time. Have you guys ever seen Doctor Strange? I think that's the name of the show, Doctor Strange. It's that Marvel Comics movie, and he goes through like, I don't know, and like at one point he goes through all these universes when he opens his third eye, and he's like a cartoon at one point, and then he's regular person, and then he's in a quantum world, and then he's a giant, and he blurps in and out of all these different realities. That's what I'm kind of being shown some of us A, already feel like, or B, will be feeling like, because the energies like, and it's going to be continuing. It's not like when I started doing these videos years ago, it would be these big bursts of energy. First, it would be micro bursts, and then it would be huge bursts, and it would be a lift, and then thunk, and then a lift, and then thunk, right? So, and we still have those from time to time, but what I'm being shown now is it's like on constantly. So there will be many who are straining with the struggle of what we refer to as multidimensionality or multidimensional realities or multifaceted realities, thinking of a diamond and how you're looking at the same rock, but depending on how you turn the rock or the gemstone, different things or different facets appear, and different angles make different colors show up. So depending on how we're feeling as we flow through these energies will depend on what we see and how we see what we see. We are being invited not to fully believe what we see as the only reality. We are being invited to recognize that what we see is I'm seeing one stem of a bouquet of like a flower. I'm being shown a flower arrangement, and I'm being shown like you might see a whole one stem, but you might not see the flowers. You might not see that there's an entire arrangement. And we would like you to play with the word arrangement. Where when I see the word arrangement, I see it as array, arrange, right? It's like not just one, it's an order, how things are laid out. I'm also seeing an arrangement as something usually what you agree on, but I'm also hearing a wide array arrangement. So it's a range. It's not just one. I'm being shown one moment, and I'm seeing delta, and a very crazy car. Anyways, so in this frequency, I'm hearing long range. We would invite you to buckle up. We would invite you to hold on and make sure that you're fully prepared. This is not a preparatory exercise necessarily. You already have the tools you need to succeed within this mind-bending, time-bending new wave of reality that we are all riding, so to speak. I'm hearing wave riders, I'm seeing Riders on the Storm. I'm seeing writing and writing. We would invite you to use all of your resources so that you can ride this wave as gracefully as possible, so that others who do not realize they have resources or do not realize how resourceful they can be will feel into your reality, or shall we say frequency, and through that give them the ability at certain locations and times and locations to harness their own frequency, or to ride your waves, so to speak, of coherence. So I'm being shown several things with this. I'm laughing because I'm filming a video, obviously, as I do this, but the drivers that I see on the road are not paying attention at all to their driving. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I think everybody on the road was drunk. But this is kind of, I'm being shown that that's a symbol. It's a sign, like pay attention to that. So we can, through coherence and through us being in alignment with as much of our own abilities to balance and ride these different, I'm hearing, colors of the spectrum, it will help others who are feel as if they don't have access to these things or don't realize what's happening. They'll be able to riff, is what I'm hearing, off of our wave. So I'm being also shown when you get behind a boat or, let's say you're wakeboarding or surf, not just surfing, but I'm being shown wakeboarding or water skiing, and you're behind the boat and it helps you go smoother. If you want to make a jump, you jump, over the waves, or you jump off of the, I can't remember what it's called, the wake. Hello, wakeboarding. Anyways, what I'm being shown also is it's like it gives them a little bit of assistance. It gives them something to, I'm hearing, something to believe in. And so because we're playing with that, many people's beliefs are being shaken to the core. Some people don't know what to believe in anymore. Some people are locked in beliefs and systems that are no more, that are no longer. And I'm seeing a reference to Edgar Allan Poe and the crow or the raven. I can't remember the name of it though, but I see like a triple meaning here. And again, this is an example of the many facets of reality that we are all each tapping into. As I weave in this space, my different stories that I have access to, that I am essentially narrating as I share with you these prose, allows me to bring through different radiations of energy. My goodness, you guys. I'm just seeing electric, lightning. The car in front of me says like radiate. I just said radiate, and there it is, 98. I'm sure there's more to do with that because of those numbers, but and so it may be difficult at times for me to stay in alignment, to stay in a linear message. It is difficult for me sometimes to bring through a linear message with a correct interpretation of the myriad of messages that are available through this type of interlocked intuition or intuitional communication, so on and so forth. Yet we are accessing very similarly as a human collective in this way. We are constantly receiving packets and packages of information, stimuli from all sources, outside resources, and resourceful ways of interpreting our environment. seeing the many different layers and frequencies that are available to us in our reality, in this reality and other realities. So we would invite you to see clairvoyantly your own reality. That's a play on words, like using our own clear vision, seeing through the distortions, allowing ourselves to shift. I'm hearing shift our reference points. The more we are accessing this, the easier it is for us to shift through the different points in time that will be coming up that we will reference at later points in time as huge turning points in time that shifted our entire dimensional awareness, our entire reality, so to speak. So I want to stop and just riff on that for a minute. First of all, if we can come into a state of coherence, other people can ride that wave. It is effective, is what I'm hearing. It's also, other people catch that wave. It's catching, it's contagious. Other people can feel that energy and they're not sure why they feel calmer around you. They're not sure why they feel complete or whole, or they can be themselves. And those moments, if each of us that is able to do that, I'm hearing able to do that, brings it to the table. It allows this recurrent spin to guide and direct other humans into finding their own way from within. Okay, I'm being shown it's like this interlocking program. And when we tune in this way, it allows other people, it's like a lock-in, it's a heart lock-in. I think in heart math, they call it a heart coherence lock-in. And what it does is it helps us to then set these wave patterns. It's a spin. I'm hearing it's a rate of differentiation. It's a spacious rave. That's a play on words. I'm like seeing, when you go to a concert, it doesn't have to be a rave, but a party, and everybody's like, yeah, the music hits and you're just feeling it. And it's contagious because you're all kind of in that space. Um, Again, it's a collective rave, a collective wave. Radiates. So also what I'm being shown is it stimulates the senses in a much more um relaxed and yet stimulating at the same time um energy potential. And as I say that, I'm seeing potent, like potency. And so this potency, and I'm hearing that creates less urgency in the chaos. So it allows for the fluctuations to create less chaos. So when we band together through the confusion, we create a coherent wave that allows for an even distribution of energies. These energies are then distributed and redistributed concurrently, plan words, back into the frequency that would have previously been destructive. They become constructive. And this rate of spin is a creationary force, a creationary wheel that allows those who are unaware, in some cases, to jump off the hamster wheel. It allows them to sink into more of their own resonance because they can feel it in the field. They can feel it through our field. And so those of us who radiate in this way create an energy, a radiation, so to speak, that is the catalyst for collective awakening. Excuse me. It is the catalyst for, I'm being shown a puzzle pieces fitting together. I actually have to pause this for a second. We then create an access point, a conjunction point, a node. in which we link up with the bandwidths, so to speak, that allow us to create in a different, I'm having all of these words come in and they're all correct, but depending on the word that I choose, that is like a connection point to the frame. So one word, let's say, I'm hearing it gives us an ace in our pocket, and I'm seeing an ace. So there's an example, and an ace is like, there's more to that. It allows us to form a new direction. So I'm seeing, like, depending on the word that I use, it's almost like a map, and that line will go to a certain place, and this line will go to a certain place. And when I say line, I see a word or a sentence, right? So basically what I'm focusing on takes me into that bubble. And so there's multiple bubbles I could play with depending on the layer of reality I wish to interpret. Now, in this particular message, I'm not here to interpret multidimensional reality necessarily. I'm here to give a linguistic play so that you can utilize it for your own self-discovery, so that you can utilize it for your own self-awareness, so that you can become aware that through these different layers of or packets of energy, you are being gifted with resources that line you up like a map to different points in time, to different places on the map, to different points in reality. They reflect back to you different points or locations of perceivability, or give you the ability to perceive reality and future timelines or versions of reality that help you to weave the tapestry of your life from a cohesive, coherent, stable route. I heard the word route, and in front of me, I'm seeing interstate batteries. And now I'm hearing power surge. So what I'm being shown is that we're getting these bursts of power. It's an ongoing. It's not like before where it was, for some of us, it'll feel high and feel low. But what I'm being shown is it's really kind of happening on a much more regular basis. It's almost like, rather than a spark, it's ongoing. And what it's giving us is an opportunity to intensify our development. And I'm hearing intensify our radiance. So there are those of us who have the ability or capability to handle this energy, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Listen, we take turns, right? We take turns. Sometimes I got this, sometimes you got this. And that's the point. It's like we're not all going to be stable the whole time. I'm hearing pockets. So, like, it's pockets of people are going to help stabilize, while at another time, other pockets will help stabilize. And we take turns, essentially. And I'm hearing the song, to everything, turn, right? And this allows us to eliminate some of the distorted frequencies in a much more cohesive way. So the more we band together, the easier it is for us to play with the new bandwidths that we are then able to utilize to control, from one perspective, the narrative. Ooh, okay. We have the capability of controlling our own narrative. Even though we're part of the collective, we're not necessarily in control of that narrative. Yet collectively, the more we band together through frequency, the more it will control the narrative. And that happens by us letting go of the need to control the energies that are coming in and just allowing ourselves to be. So I'm being shown again the surfer. Like the surfer doesn't, now we are creating the waves, we're riding the waves, so on and so forth. But from a linear perspective, the surfer does not create the wave. They see the wave and they find the momentum to catch the wave, and then they become in flow with that wave. Gives them the ability to move in such a way that they can sometimes predict where the wave is going, if they need to go, up or down. So it's the whole idea that the more coherent we are and the more we can help each other out in this coherence, recognize that we're having an impact wherever we are in whatever pocket we're in. This allows us to, I'm just hearing time bend. So when I say time bend, I see like a line becomes a curve or a horseshoe. So that means the points become closer. So visualize a pencil that's rubber that wasn't before. Now it's soft and it curves around. And if you're trying to get from the top to the bottom, if you want to call it that, of the pencil, it's right there now instead of all the way across. You can just jump timelines essentially. So this is a quantum and multidimensional way of viewing time and communication in this way. But this is achieved through our individuality, and it is achieved also through us coming together in community, because the more we form our reality through coherence, the more information we recognize that is out of coherence, and the easier it is to adjust our specs. So I'm seeing like people taking off their glasses, scratching their heads and going, this doesn't make any sense. And what the guides are showing me is like, good. It's not supposed to. It never really did make sense. But so this is a multi-layered message, but one of the messages is we believed it to be so true that somehow we made sense of something that really didn't make sense. Are you guys feeling that? Like, I know I am. Like, boy, I used to watch this person or this show or listen to that, and I subscribed to it. I believed in it. And now I'm like, all right, it's not even like it doesn't make sense logically. Although I got to tell you, when you watch the media, a lot of it doesn't make sense. But for some people, they're not scratching their heads yet because they're caught up in it. I'm hearing they're caught up in the dissonance. And that dissonance is shifting though. And believe it or not, I'm hearing Ripley's believe it or not, part of this dissonance is actually helping us to see the gap. So we're seeing the dissonance, some of us, and I'm hearing revolutionary. We are changing this concept of how we need to live our lives, how we need to interact with each other, how we need to interact with nature, how we need to interact in reality. And this will not be the same for everyone. Keeping in mind that just because you are all in the same mine, so I'm seeing a mine where you mine for diamonds and things like that, it doesn't mean you're going to find the same stones. And so we really invite all of you to go within and leave no stone unturned. Explore the caverns within of your imagination. Go into your own questions about the universe. I'm hearing revolution, revolutionize. So when I say revolutionize, I'm seeing your eyes actually seeing things in a different way. imagining things to be different than they actually are, using our imagination to say, what would it be like if we were living in a peaceful society? Where would I be? How would I be of service? How could I be useful? What would I like to do? What would I like? How would I like to interact with people? What would be something? Do you know what I mean? Like asking questions that we didn't ask before, that we didn't necessarily think of before, because we could never imagine it before, because we believed in something so strongly that it blocked our imagination, because we couldn't conceive beyond that particular, I'm hearing, machination. So I'm kind of bringing this to an end. We invite you to come back into time bend. Make your energy so structured. I'm seeing structured water through intentional reality, intentional choices, through recognizing your thoughts, through interacting resourcefully and constructive versus deconstructive. And the more we do this, the more we will witness the flailing old systems come to an end. But more importantly, we begin again to redirect our attention in, I'm hearing, through diversification of reality templates and structures. So I'm sorry, I'm going off on my wordplay, but what they're showing me is we'll have so many different ideas that it'll be full of resources. A lot of people can't imagine because they feel stuck. And this will start to shift. So we'll start to see all of these amazing things coming up that we didn't see before. And we're already starting to see that now, right? I mean, if we're not plugged in just to the old program and destroying what's old, if we're starting to focus on the new, we're starting to see a lot of things come up that we didn't necessarily know about before that are actually quite positive and quite beautiful. And this restores the belief in humanity. So we invite you to restore your own human, I'm hearing humagination. I think I've said that before. Restore your own humagination so that you can believe in what I'm hearing, my creation, believe in your own creations. And through this power of belief, this is what has held many in captivity for so long. We invite you to sing your own song and to begin to weave the tapestry of your beautiful, I'm hearing, diversity. So it's not about, I have to be different than that person next to me. I have to look different or act different or create something different. I'm hearing small nuances. It's like getting together and being a chemist or a physicist and both bringing to the table different pieces of what you've learned or explored, or questions like, I was thinking the other day about this. And what I'm hearing is inventions. This is how inventions are created. So just because one person invented the light bulb, there are actually multiple people probably, and there are multiple people having the same inventions. When they get together, they can make these creations even better. Well, how can I apply this? Oh, I never thought about it that way. How can I make it better? How can I make it more efficient? So they're out, and it's, we all have pocket collaboration, yet incredible uses of imagination. We have this concept around imagination like, well, I don't believe that. we don't believe something strong enough, we're blocking the imagination from allowing us to see past. I'm seeing the block of belief. So I'm being shown the building blocks of matter, for example. Like, first of all, a gentle reminder, just because you cannot see aether or ether, I always get confused. Clearly, I am not a physicist. Um, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So if I can't see it, it must, what I'm being shown is that's been blocking us. But also, what's been blocking us is us seeing things and believing them to be true when they really have just been presentations of variations of the truth, and they haven't necessarily been the whole truth, nothing but the truth. They haven't necessarily been real. So it's like a green screen, or but what is real? What is reality? And AI is really giving us a whole really start to kind of bring that into the forefront as well. So we invite you to take the time to lean in and listen. Plan words like leaning into us and lean into each other, support one another, allow these creative aspects of our own inner awareness to bloom, to blossom, to flower. And as we do this, it gives us the power of mobility, movement. It gives us the power to move out of our own cage, so to speak, out of our own distortions. And it allows us to collaborate at such an extensive, expansive, um, in such a huge way that no idea at this current point, place in time, place on our map in time, what is about to unwind, what is about to unfold as we become, oh, I'm shown old, like mature. Um, but when you look back and you go, wow, I thought I was so, I thought I knew so much. And then all of a sudden it's like you know nothing, Jon Snow, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. So we become more mature, and what I'm being shown is we gain so much in such a short period of time. And the reference that they're making to all these maps is more about reality structures, where we're going, and recognizing this massive impact that we don't even know yet that we're having on the future for our ancestors. So we're the old, you know, we're the ancestors. We just don't know it yet. Some of us do. So I'm going to end on that note and maybe play with that video a little bit later in more depth. Hopefully you found it fun. In love and light, guys. Namaste.